Well, my name's Tyler Stroke from Universal Rackets, and today we're going over the main two stances when you hit your forehand and your backhand ground strokes. There are two types of stances. Number one is the closed stance, and number two is the open stance. I'm going to be teaching you how to get into each stance and also the pros and cons and why I prefer to use one stance compared to the other at different times on court. So now, what is the closed stance? A closed stance is whenever you step into the ball. Whenever I am going to step into the shot, that is going to be a closed stance shot. A great way to think that you're in a closed stance is, look, here's the line. Both of my feet are on the same line. If I ever tell beginners, when I teach beginners, they go in the closed stance at first, what do I tell them? To be on their surfboard, to be on their snowboard, on their skateboard. You want your feet to be on the same line. This is how you're hitting a closed stance. Now, for an open stance, instead of being on your surfboard or skateboard, or if you're on your surfboard, you're going to do a quick 90-degree turn. Whenever you're hitting an open stance, you are literally facing your target to the point that if you walked, you'd walk directly towards your target. If I was hitting a closed stance and I walked, where would I walk? I'd walk directly off to the side. Now, when I do an open stance, my body is facing forward, but I am still turning my top of my body. Again, my body is still facing forward, but then all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the upper half of my body. Now, this is a big thing. You don't just turn your upper half of your body, then you load into your lower half of your body. Now, when you swing now, you're coiled. All of my energy's tightened in, right? Like I'm wringing a sponge. And now look, I'm going to release that sponge and go forward. Instead, again, for the closed stance, both my feet are going to be straight, and then I'm going to step forward, and then I'm going to hit. So why do you want to use the closed stance rather than the open stance? Well, the closed stance is good if you want to really be aggressive into your shots. A closed stance is great for any shot that is short in the court. If there's any ball inside the court here, I'm not going to hit an open stance. I'm going to step in, here we are, and then I'm going to hit through my ball. Another reason for the closed stance is if you have time. It takes much more time to hit a closed stance than an open stance forehand. Think, if I hit a closed stance, I have to step in, then I have to hit, and then I have to bring the foot around. Now, if I hit an open stance, watch what I have to do. I'm gonna hit, here we are, boom, and then I'm going to go back. So, if you have time, if you have an offensive ball, that's when you want to step into your shot. Now, here's a big thing for your closed stance. When you step into the ball, you have to take a big step. Too many players, where they go wrong is that they take such a little step when they hit. You need to take a big step into the ball. You want to think that here is the bottom of your shoe. You're going to show the bottom of your shoe sole. When I step into it, I'm not just going here, I'm not just going here, I'm not stomping, right? I am taking a big step showing the bottom of my shoe sole, and then I'm going to step in, and then I'm going to hit. When I step in, I want to make sure that I have a wide base with my legs. I don't want to be too narrow that I step and then I fall over, okay? Now, for the closed stance, I said what? The closed stance takes a little bit more time. Now, what does that mean? The open stance, what? There's less time? That's a benefit. You want to utilize your open stance whenever you're in a neutral position, you're getting pulled out wide. You want to have a little bit of extra time. It is a great shot to use for your rally ball, for any neutral defensive ball, because what? You can just hit and then you can move back to the shot. It's going to be much difficult though to rip a ball from an open stance position. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. So when you hit your open stance, again, utilize it when you can push behind the baseline, at the baseline in a more neutral shot. Now, the big thing with the open stance is players don't turn enough. Players, they'll start hitting open stance because it's easier. They'll utilize it because they're lazy, not because they're trying to be actually more efficient, and they'll hit and they'll end up spraying the ball because their body's opening up. I need to make sure, even if I hit this open stance shot, I'm still turning my body throughout my shot. For the backhand as well, here we are. So I hit even one hand open stance, that's pretty crazy. But here we are, here we are, and I'm gonna hit, and I'm gonna keep my body turned throughout your shot. So make sure, again, a little bit of discretion. If you're using your open stance, make sure you're using it the proper way. Make sure you're keeping your body turned, and make sure you're just not, again, utilizing it because you are lazy. Now, that is a closed stance, that's the open stance. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite shot is to hit. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comments below. Have a good one, happy hitting, and I'll see you guys next time on court.